episode is about building bridges, creating transferable wealth, and generational prosperity. We're diving into creating generational and transferable wealth that we can leave a legacy, that we can empower and transform not only just in our family, in our children's life, but guess what? In our community's life. So we're getting ready to dive in and empower and encourage our community in creating wealth. So let's get started. Hello and welcome. I am your host, Karen Larkin, and I am super excited today about this topic, this conversation. We will be talking about building bridges, creating transferable wealth, and generational prosperity. And I'm excited to have as my guest this amazing sister. She's making some moves. She's a boss, she's a mother, she's a wife, she's a sister, she's just that girl, okay? And I'm excited to introduce Miss Kenita Veal. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. I am so elated to be here. Such an honor. Thank you so very much.
You are so very welcome, and I'm telling you, I am very, very excited about this because, of course, I have known you for a while, and I don't know, because I was trying to think, because I remember us meeting when you first bought your home.
Absolutely.
And if I'm not mistaken, and correct me, I think our connection was made through Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because, see, I was trying to remember because I was like, okay, because for those that do not know, I was a loan officer well, that ain't been that long ago, but I was a loan officer many years ago. And Miss Veal was one of my customers, one of my clients. And I helped her with purchasing, if I'm not mistaken, your first home.
It was after the purchase process.
Okay.
Yes, after the purchase process, you and I connected. I realized that you were working in real estate, and we were actually collaborating together. So we partnered together on a deal. So it was, you were helping people obtain generational wealth through purchasing homes. And it was a referral service that you had. So we kind of linked up that way.
See, you know what? I tell you, I meet people, and as everyone that do know me, I mean, I love people. Mm-hmm. And but I do remember when we did connect, it was almost like an instant connection.
It was.
And we've been, when we see each other, it's always, we gotta hug each other, we gotta speak, we gotta talk. But before we get started, I want you to tell people a little bit about you, about yourself.
So my name is Kenita Veal. I am mother to 3 amazing young adult daughters and honeybee to a wonderful grandson. I'm married to a charming husband. My background is in accounting and data analytics, and more so recently I've been transferring into the real estate market. So yeah.
Oh, and I love it. And because on yesterday evening, I'm just gonna move that to the side because we finna dig into
this.
Let's do it. And on another episode, I had the pleasure of talking to some real estate agents, and one thing that we talked about is real estate being one of the 7 pillars of wealth, and how we obtain wealth. And we took it back, all the way back to the myths and why we are afraid, and to even step into real estate. Some of us don't even believe that we can even obtain real estate. But most importantly, just not even realizing, especially in our community, that real estate is one of the tools or one of the vehicles to obtaining wealth.
Absolutely.
And what have inspired me, because even though we don't see each other all the time, I do follow you, and was just intrigued with you actually being an investor now. And the very first thing that came to mind was just getting to know you, even when you started in real estate, by purchasing a home or whatever, and that was our connection. But to see where you are now and what you're doing with your family, and we talk about leaving a legacy. So I want to know, not only just being a homeowner, but what was that pivotal moment in your life that made you shift into becoming or beginning this real estate investing journey?
I love the fact that you use the word shift, because that's exactly what it takes. It takes a shift. It takes a shift in your mindset, actually. My background has always been accounting, and I was sitting there just going over my finances one day, and what did it for me was just looking at my actual 401k and seeing how much I was putting into it and how much I was actually earning. And so I was like, wait a minute now, I'm giving them all this money for this amount of time, and this is the return on my investment. I think I can do better than that. So my thing was trying to figure out a way to do better than what the stock market was doing then, because the average millionaire, he does not make his money off of the stock market. It's off of real estate.
Tell them again.
It's not off the stock market. It is off of real estate. So that's a great vehicle to wealth. So learning that, amassing the education, just kind of learning, watching stuff, connecting with the right people, and that was just integral to me actually making that transformation. So yeah.
Awesome. I love it. And I like what you said, as well as a shift in your mindset. And what we have to understand, especially as women of color, there has to be a pivotal moment in our lives that will cause a shift. And regardless of what that shift looked like, but growth only comes when we begin to change our mindset.
Absolutely.
And wanting to do something different in our life. But what I love about this segment is the fact that you're actually building. It was pivotal for you, because you said, wait a minute, hold up, I can do better than this. Just looking at the stock market, like, okay, hold up, I can do better than this. So technically, it's about positioning your money to work for you.
To work for you. Absolutely. Many people don't realize that money is the tool. It's not the reason. It's a tool.
Come on, say it again now. I love that.
Money is not the reason. People go to work to make money. And they see, okay, that's my reason. Go to work, make money, and figure out how to make that money make you more money, and so that's the thing. We just think of it as a way to pay bills. It's a way to go buy this car, a depreciation asset at that. It's a way to go out and get the freshest pair of Jordans that's out there, the nicest outfit, or go in the club and buy bottles and all of that. And you're wasting. I mean, it's literally, you might as well just set fire to it, and it has no value by itself. So if you take that and you put it into an asset, something that has value, something that will appreciate, that puts you on the right track to transformative wealth is the word I like to use now. So yeah, it helps to give you that transformative wealth, that
And
generational.
and expound on transferable. Is that the word?
Transformative was what I was saying.
Transformative. Okay. Transformative. Transformative wealth. Tell us what that means to you, because you said this is the word that you're using now.
Yes.
So tell us what that means. Help educate some of us out there.
Absolutely.
When we talk about transformative wealth.
Yeah, so when you think about the word transform, it's a change or a shift. And that's exactly what you're trying to do when you're trying to amass generational wealth, right? You're trying to change things for your family, for your descendants, so that they're in a better position.
I love that.
So, and that's what it has the ability to do, to actually transform your life, you know?
Exactly. And I love that. And so with that being said, because now we have transformative wealth, but also tell us in your own words, what does generational wealth mean to you?
That's a great question. Love that. Generational wealth is being able to leave a legacy behind that makes things better than you found them.
I love that. I love that. Leaving a legacy behind to make things, hear us ladies, hear us out there now, better than you found it. I absolutely love that, because when a lot of times when people hear the term or the word generational wealth, we automatically think of finances.
Money. Yeah.
We automatically think of money, but generational wealth is so many different things.
It's so much more than that. And you can give them money and they'll mess it up. You know, but if you give them the education along with the money, that's what counts. Because it does me no good to leave $1 million behind and they're going to squander it, or they don't know what to do with it.
They don't know what to do with it.
But when I give them the education, when I put them in the right rooms, when I, share my resources, bring them into the networks that allow me to do what I'm trying to do for them, then you can ensure that you truly leave that behind.
And I love that. And we talk about leaving a legacy, and like you said, even with my young adults, I have 2 beautiful, amazing daughters. So leaving a legacy to them is not only, have allowed them to see the work that mom and dad has put in to build some of these things that we are building, but we're actually positioning them, like you said, where we're teaching them and educating them that don't wait until you get to be 40 plus or 50 plus and decide that, hey, it's time for me to start building. Because I always tell them, you want to position yourself where your money works for you, not the other way around. Whatever you choose to do in life, allow that to be because you love to do it, because you want to do it.
Yes.
And an added benefit is because you can reap some rewards from it. But guess what? If you decide that you don't want to do anything else, you can sit at home all day, or you can travel, and guess what? Your money's still
making money.
See, believe it or not, see, that's the kind of life, that I am, that me and my husband are, positioning for ourselves, where we don't have to go to anybody's job, but we don't hurt for anything. And when we have people not only in our family, but people in our community in need. See, we want to be able to just write that check.
Exactly.
So
the overflow.
Come on, what? The overflow.
The overflow.
And it not hurt us or our household. So this is why, especially looking at you and just seeing all these moves that you are making, intrigued me and inspired me. Like, wow, I got to, and see, I like to know not so much like how to do it, but see, I like to know what was the reasoning or that shift that caused you to do it. Because see, everything in our life has to come with a shift, as you said earlier, in our mindset.
Right.
So, and I know, you've already answered that question. You looking at your 401k and you're like, hey, this ain't it.
Yeah.
Like, it gotta be more to this.
And I could take it a layer deeper, especially expounding on what you said you and your husband are trying to do and your why. I think once you realize your value, my value is different than what that employer thinks it is, right? They're gonna pay me an hourly rate or a salary. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's not my value. I know that I'm worth so much more, and I want to push kingdom business. And in order to do that, I know it takes more than what you guys have placed a value on, and so instead of limiting myself to just that. Now, don't get me wrong, because I'm not telling anybody to go out there and just quit their job. You know what I'm saying?
Don't quit your job.
I'm not saying that.
Don't quit your job.
But what I am saying is that once you realize your value, then that can propel you to seek avenues that allow you to get closer to what that value is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you have so many things. So the way that I see it now, that full-time job helps to fund what I really want to do. It helps to fund my passion. And so once you realize that you're capable of that and you just start seeking that, it's kind of like when you fall in love with the Bible or fall in love with God and you just keep wanting more and more and more of it.
Yes.
And that's exactly what it is. And this is what I'm doing. It's nothing that I'm doing. This was God leading me that way. You know what I'm saying? Because I always felt this urge that there was something more, something different that I should be doing. And so there's a whole... it just opens up a whole nother box to what I actually will be doing in the next couple of years. So you said so much, and I got so many thoughts going through my mind, even going back to the kids and teaching this, and even teaching it to your network, because I want generational wealth and that transformative wealth to expand toward outside, into my entire network, not just me. I want enough meat on the bone so everybody can eat.
Come on, that's what I'm saying.
And so when you're doing that, I don't want to give anybody a fish. I want to teach them how to fish.
Come on, that's what I like. And you said something that I just absolutely love, and pretty much the principles that me and my husband stand on. This is about kingdom business. This ain't personal. So you got to begin to understand when God has given you something, it's not about you, but it's about his business. You just reap the rewards of being obedient to be about kingdom business. And kingdom business expands farther than we can see. And it's about positioning our community, especially, or positioning God's people to put them in a better position or in a better state than what you said earlier, than how you found it.
Exactly.
So even with this podcast, I said this is kingdom business. It ain't something that I just woke up and said, hey, I'm gonna do it. The seed, God used somebody else to plant the seed, but you got to understand who does the watering. God is the only one that can do the watering. There's so many seeds that are planting right now. We're planting the seeds just through conversation, through educating, just inspiring and empowering, especially our women of color, our sisters of color. But God does the watering, and God gives the increase. Right. We don't do nothing. We're just the vessels for it. And I absolutely, I'm gonna say it again. Y'all probably gonna get tired of hearing it throughout this episode. I'm just elated to just be sitting here, and just grabbing all of your gems, all of your nuggets, basically allowing you to even speak into my life, because I know a lot of things that God has shown me. And we're going to keep it real. Yes, God shows all of us a lot of things, but he also understands and know that guess what it's going to take? It's going to take money to do it. And if we dig a little further into his word tells us money answers all things. Money answers all things. But what happens sometimes, we misconstrue that and want to say that money is evil. No, the love of money is evil. But money answers all things, because God understands, even when you read back, because the first time that I heard about investing is actually in the Word of God. And that right there blew me away. When you have the owner or the master that gives the talents to the three servants. Come on, somebody.
Yes.
So see, this is the thing. Investing ain't just popped on the scene 10 or 15 years ago. Right. See, God created all of this even before all of us was even thought about. So it is about positioning your finances, your money, to work for you, not the other way around. See, God never intended for his children to work for money. He never intended that. That's something that man came up with. Because see, God gives us all the resources and all the tools that we need to go out and guess what? Make money. So it's about positioning your money to work for you. So even in that story, he gave the three servants the talents, which was the money. And how two of them took what he gave them and doubled it. But then you got one that said, well, I know how you don't like, to waste things, and how can I work for something, I can't remember exactly, so yeah, don't condemn me. And but he did nothing with his. He took it and he buried it. Yeah. And so he thought his master was going to be pleased. But his master took it away from him. And say, how can you take something from me that you didn't even work for?
Hello, my name is Karen Larkin. I'm the author of Peace Within These Walls. I'm an interior designer that help entrepreneurs that are struggling with anxiety, stress, and depression create peaceful and tranquil environments that will promote productivity and creativity, decrease stress and anxiety, all while promoting your overall well-being. And I'm telling you, your atmosphere plays a major role in the outcomes in your life. Your atmosphere, you are the product of your atmosphere. So let me help you today create peace in your life. So go to www.createpeaceathome.com and let's begin to transform your space. and you do nothing with it. And then he told me, he said, you could at least put it in the bank.
Yeah.
I could at least draw some interest off of it. But you did nothing.
Yeah. That I love that you referenced that story, because what it taught me is that we put limits on a limitless God.
Come on.
We put limits on a limitless God, and that you know what, our talents that we have, we think that they belong to us. Like, he gave them to us. You know, like that's not yours. You know,
exactly.
And so that I love. I often refer back to that verse in the Bible, that book in the Bible as well. That's one of mine, because it taught me we put limits. Stop limiting yourself when you write down your goals and stuff. That pie in the sky idea, write it down.
I'm gonna tell
write
you something.
it down.
if you saw some of my goals for 2025, you'd be like, ooh.
Not me, they probably
not. Okay, I take that back. Okay, because see, I am a firm believer that God will give me everything that I asked for and more, and even give me things that I didn't ask for, as long as I'm being obedient to Him. And that's the one thing that we got to begin to understand. It's about being obedient to God, and like you said, even the gifts and the talents that we have, they don't belong to us. And kind of shifting gears, and we're going, because you know sometimes I will, but being that we don't open this door, we're gonna go ahead on and address it. Okay. We love to say, well, I ain't gonna tell somebody how to do this, because then they gonna take it and then they may do better than me, or this is what we love to say. Oh, I had to get it, so they need to get it. But what you need to understand, it was never yours to begin with.
Right.
God gave it to you. And this is why this is so important to me, even speaking, you know, to our viewers, which are our sisters out there. Stop. Okay, let's go ahead on and put this disclaimer out here. This is not a competition. Okay? Let's go ahead on. We're not competing. We're not in any sports. We're not competing for the crown. We're not competing. Okay? Let's put this disclaimer out there. But what we are doing, we're complimenting and collaborating.
That's it. Yeah.
And we said all the time, we're better in numbers. We can do so much more if we learn how to compliment. And what I love about my sisters of color, we're better than the rainbow, because we come in such a beautiful, complex array of shades of melon. Oh, do you hear me?
I got you. Yes.
Better than the milk chocolate or the dark chocolate. We come in a array of different shades of melon, and so we complement each other.
Absolutely.
We compliment each other.
Yes.
Look at us sitting here. This is a compliment,
yes,
but it's also a collaboration that we can sit here and talk. And you know what they say, help one, teach one.
Yeah,
teach
absolutely.
one, help one.
Yeah, there's an African proverb too that also says, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. And that's been very, very true in my real estate journey. Had I not been connecting with the right realtors, the right contractors, the right mentorship, just being in the right networks, there's no way that I could have gone as far as I am. Your lenders, your brokers, just developing those relationships is so important. And when it comes to us, period. I had a good friend to tell me that competition highlights your weaknesses, collaboration highlights your strengths. when you're in and you think about it, when you're in a football game, you're in competition, you play on the weaknesses of the other team.
That's
their defense ain't that good. That quarterback, he stay inside the pocket.
Yeah.
And so when you see those weaknesses, you can use that against each other. But when you collaborate, you look at everybody's strength. Okay, Karen is good at this marketing thing. Karen good at this interior decorating thing. Okay, I'm gonna get her. Okay, I've got Kanita over here, and she knows the lenders. She can set me up with the right realtor. I'm gonna go to her. And so as you collaborate and you build those relationships and you build those networks, that highlights each other's strength, and that's where we need to be at. That's exactly what we need to be at.
Tell them again, because I know there was somebody that had to go answer the door, answer the phone. The children was interrupted, so they didn't hear you.
They didn't
They didn't get it. So can you say it again? For 'em.
I will say it for the ones in the back.
Come on, in the back. Raise your hand in the back.
Competition highlights your weaknesses. Collaboration highlights your strengths. So let's collaborate, y'all.
and see, that's what I love. And even through this, it's about helping. It's about empowering our sisters. It's about uplifting our sisters. Because it's one thing to be an African American woman, but it's a whole nother thing with some of the things that we deal with some of the challenges that we go through.
Yes, ma'am.
As African American women. And oftentimes I say, we were taught to be, we love to say it, I'm this strong black woman. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that can also be a curse. Because we don't want to show people our weaknesses. We don't want to show people our vulnerability. And we don't want to reach out when we know we need help. So being this strong black woman can also be a curse. And I do believe that it was passed down from generations. It was a generational curse. Because see, back when, during slavery, there were black women that were, being abused, being raped, taken away from their husband. Their children was taken away from them. So they had to portray, or they had to be a strong black woman to withstand some of this abuse that they were going through. And
coping mechanism.
Exactly. And not only that, but not having a voice to even say anything about it. Because back then, if you say anything about it, that could cost you your life. Or what was going to change about it? Nothing. So I look at that as a curse. So I was like, okay, you gotta be strong. But ladies, we don't. And it's okay to be weak. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to ask for help when you don't know what you need to do or how to do it. And being that we're talking about creating wealth, not just for our families, but our extended families, meaning our families that we don't even know that we have. What would you say would be a misconception of real estate as far as investing and about creating this wealth? What would you say, or is a common that you would say, being that you kind of educate, would be a common misconception of creating wealth?
For women in general, or?
Well, since we're talking to our sisters, we're going to just say, yeah.
So I think this could be for, and let me have two, Karen. Let me do two of them.
Okay.
I think the first one is thinking that you don't have to have money. I'm going to say this. real estate is all about using other people's money, but you have to even position yourself to be able to use other people's money.
Come on now.
So I just don't want people to get confused when they go out there and watch those YouTube videos, when they go to YouTube University or, Facebook TV or whatever. and you listen to all of these peoples that are sponsoring these mentorships, and they tell you all of these things. Just make sure that you educate yourself properly on that, because that's a common misconception. You can definitely get there, and the idea is not, if you have $100,000 deal, the idea is not to use your $100,000, but you might have to bring 10.
You gotta have some skin in the game.
You have to have some skin in the game, and people need to start thinking. It's a mindset shift. You got to think about that. If as you're an investor, and now I'm transitioning into being a lender, it's the same way. I'm not going to go and give you the full thing, and you're not. Like, what do you have to do if you lose everything?
Exactly.
Nothing.
What you got in the game?
So think about that. You need to be willing to. If you're going to be out there to convince somebody else that this is a great deal, you have to be able to put up some of your own money into it. The other thing that I wanted to highlight is that as black women, as women in general, because all women, I think they deal with this, when you're into some of these industries, construction, real estate, STEM, any STEM industry, it is male dominated. And a lot of times, there are still some people out there that think that we don't belong there. So you'll get some contractors that will highball the price, that will think that you don't know what a shark bite is, or quarter round, or, tile, and it's just, they will give you, they'll highball the prices on you. There have been several instances where I would go in and talk to somebody, and my husband was with me. They would completely ignore me and talk to him instead. And I used to get offended by it, but I had a mentor that told me, it pisses you off now, but all of that goes away once you cash in that check at the bank.
Come on, say that again.
And so you have to use that to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to what you were saying about as black women and us having to, put on these different capes and wear so many hats and everything. It's a curse and a blessing what we've been through, but use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? When you learn the game, use the game, to your advantage. So yeah, it is a male dominated field, but that does not mean that you don't belong there. And just be willing to invest in yourself, to invest in your business, to learn, and you can win.
And I often say, being an entrepreneur, being a black businesswoman, I'm always a student. I'm always a student. So when we're talking about shifting that mindset, you gotta always remember that you will forever be a student, and that's in life general. I can remember my grandmother told me many years ago that you're never, and you hear older people say this, that you're never too old to learn. And even in her 70s or 80s, she was like, whenever I get to that point where I can't learn anything else, that means the good Lord is getting ready to come up, call me home. And I was like, huh? She was like, yeah, because as long as you're living, you should always be willing to learn. Absolutely. Because you can always learn something. And so I have adapted that. I have not arrived, will not arrive, because I know that God is going to constantly elevate me. And as He elevates me more, it's going to require me to, guess what? Be a student. Right. That means I got to learn more. I got to educate myself more. I have to network with some different people. I have to sit at some different tables. And when you're sitting at these different tables, you don't always have to speak.
That part.
You can just be quiet, because guess what? You're in training. Always be willing to be in training.
Yes.
And just listen.
be a sponge and soak up all you can. Because at the right time, you'll be able to use everything that you've already learned or gained. So I just love this. And before we get ready to wrap it up, to my sister out there that has thought about investing or being in this industry, whether it's on the construction side of it or being a general contractor, because believe it or not, that's my goal. You're looking at a general contractor one day, and so I'm gonna be the system that step up on the scene. Yeah, I'm gonna have on my heels, got on my fedora. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna have to take my fedora off and put on my hard hat, and people gonna be like, well, where she came from? Don't worry about it. But see, this is what I'm talking about. If you ain't dreaming big dreams, then guess what? You ain't dreaming big enough. Your dreams are too little. Right. Cause see, I got some dreams out there that are some big dreams, but I'm believing God. Guess what? They gonna happen.
Absolutely.
They gonna come to pass. And it's funny that we're having this conversation, because one thing that I said to my husband, or me and my husband has always said. Even when life happened and we lost our home many years ago, one of my goals or one of my desires back then was positioning ourselves. I knew that we would become homeowners one day again.
Yes.
That was just
temporary.
That was only temporary. It wasn't permanent. And but it was something that God needed us to learn. So whenever we have life happening events in our life, take it as, what is it that God needs you to learn? But what I knew was, I wanted to position ourselves that we do affordable housing, because it was a struggle for us to find something in a decent neighborhood, but that was affordable. And a lot of times people think when life happens and you lose your home, or that you have to live subpar. The devil is a
liar.
And so it has been my goal or my desire to create housing in nice neighborhoods for people that have found themselves in positions where life happened. Because just because life happened to you, that don't mean that I got to live in the slum or the slummies.
And in fact, I just talked with a friend before I came here, and the sermon on last Sunday was, it had to happen. It had to happen. It had to happen, and it was a biblical reference with the crucifixion of Jesus. It had to happen,
right?
Because it had to be fulfilled. God can't get you to a place sometimes until He takes you through something. Like you were saying, life is a journey, and so there's something that He wants you to pick up before He takes you to that next chapter. So when that happens to you, just praising God, because He is truly good all the time.
Not sometimes,
all the time. Absolutely.
Yes.
You just have to be still and listen and learn what the lesson that He's trying to teach you in that moment. So it had to happen.
It had to happen. And so in parting, there's a sister out there that wants to do it, or wants to be in this industry. What encouragement would you give her, or what would you say to her to inspire her to go after this dream? Or just what would you tell her right now? And you can just speak to, because there's somebody out there.
Yes, absolutely. So to my good sister.
That's it, my good sister.
My good sister. whether you believe you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. It is definitely a mindset. Whether you believe you can or you can't, you're absolutely right. So start talking about what you can do. Start writing those goals down. Start making it plain. Start making what you want. Make it known. Write it down. Figure out a way to execute it. It is not easy at all, but it is absolutely doable. I mean, you are talking to, I was a teenage mother. I've been on welfare before. I received food stamps before. I have filed for bankruptcy before. And so those things did not define me. Like I just said, it had to happen. All of that, perseverance. Don't get caught up in what's happening now. If I stand on what God said. He told me who I was, whose I was, which is more important than who I am, but whose I am. He told me what I will have in life, and I absolutely believe that, and I'm going to have it. And I would actually encourage you to do the same. Just set those goals. Make sure you position yourselves where you are around the right people, around the right environments. Realizing that a no doesn't always mean a no. It just means not now or not this way. So don't let that stop you. Just having that perseverance and to realize what you actually want and to go for it. Just go for it.
Oh my, I absolutely love it. So you heard it best. Just go forward. And I'll just piggyback off that. You'll never know what you can do until you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So stop putting limits on a limitless God.
Limitless God.
Because God said you can have everything. He, far above what you can even imagine or think.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine that. You can have more than, or far more than you can even imagine or think.
And position yourself for it. Because he ain't gonna birth nothing prematurely, baby. Nothing. You have to position yourself for it. Get ahead of it. If you know the rain coming, get ahead of it. Start doing things to prepare for the rain right now, so that when he opens it up, you're ready to receive it. So we can talk about what we want, and we can talk about what God has promised us, but he is not going to deliver anything prematurely.
And I'll just add to it, faith without work
is dead.
It's dead. You can have all the faith in the world, but if you ain't planning on putting no work or putting no action steps to it,
move around.
It's just keep hoping and dreaming. Nah, that's all I'm gonna tell you, and see if it's gonna fall out the sky. Mm-hmm. But the word tells us faith without work
is dead.
Is dead. So,
and one more thing I would like to say is to when I was saying surround yourself with the right people. So I invest in myself a lot. Mm-hmm. I take the class. I do the mentorship with who I need to do the mentorship with. Yes, it costs money, but is it worth it? Absolutely. There is no better investment. Yeah, this real estate is out here, but there's no better investment I ever made, an investment I put into myself.
Come on.
And so don't be afraid to do that. Get yourself around the right people. I'm a member of the Investors Collective, which is a mentorship under Kimberly Gatlin. Okay. And she's a real estate investor and lender, very successful. A lot of black girl magic going on with her. A lot of black girl magic.
Okay, I'm gonna have to remember that.
Absolutely, the Investors Collective. So just make sure that you are seeking out the right mentorships with the right people, so you can gain the knowledge that you need to set yourself up for success.
And you heard it. Kanita just told you best. Make sure you're seeking the right mentorship, because, like you said, everybody out here that's offering something ain't offering what they say they offering. So you want to make sure, do your due diligence, but also understand that you have to invest
and yourself. It goes back to what we said earlier. You got to have some skin in the game. And one thing as a service provider, because I do provide a service, one thing that I hate to hear is, when we want to put a price tag on things that can get us or position us where it can get us to the next level, we want to nickel and dime that. But the latest Jordans drop, you got to stand in line. You camping out to spend $300 or whatever they cost. I don't know, because I don't own a pair. But I don't knock anybody that do.
Yeah.
But what's the return on?
Yes.
Are you getting a return on your investment? Because to stand there to get those Jordans, that's an investment.
Right.
I don't know whether y'all know that. The red bottoms that you got, that's an investment. That $2,000 hair that you just went to the store to buy, that's an investment. Your Gucci, your Louis Vuitton, whatever, that's an investment.
Right.
So when you're obtaining these material things, ask yourself, what's the return on your investment? What is it giving you back in return? Besides you look good for the moment.
Right.
Or, you don't know how you're going to pay Georgia Powell, but you got this Gucci bag here. And I'm not knocking nice things, because I love nice things. But what I am saying, ladies, we got to position ourselves once again to begin to shift our mindset and putting our funds, our money into those things that's going to give us back a return. So, Kenita, tell the people, if anybody out there want to connect with you or want to learn more, or just say, for instance, if they can't remember some of the things they said, or even if they just want to say, well, could you steer me in the right direction on how I can get started? Tell them, how can they connect with you?
Absolutely. So the best way to connect with me right now is I have through my website. And so my website is mytruebusiness.com, and there is a contact form there. So if you would like to connect with me, go to my website, fill out the contact form, and I'll be in touch.
Well, I love it. Y'all heard it best. And with every episode we do, I like for my guests to leave something inspiring or empowering in 30 seconds or less. So I want you to look in the camera, empower, encourage, inspire our sister that's looking right now. What would you tell them right now in 30 seconds or less?
3 words. You are enough. You are enough. You've got everything that you need to succeed right now inside of you.
Well, you heard it, ladies. You are enough. And Kenita, I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much. This is so awesome, Karen. I am just honored to be a guest. I am elated and just inspired by what you are doing. I think it is much needed in our community. And wow. I know you will be successful with this. I know you will.
Well, thank you. I don't take this for granted. So thank you for accepting the invitation to be a guest and to share your plethora. I'm going to get this word right. Your I can't even say it.
You got it.
Plethora. Thank you. Plethora. I'm gonna get it. It's a tongue twister of just wisdom and knowledge with us, and I don't take that lightly. So thank you all for tuning in. And as I always say in parting, remember, live in peace to be at peace. Until next time. See you ladies later. Love you. Bye-bye. Thank you guys for joining today's episode. Wasn't it awesome? Wasn't it amazing? I hope and I pray that you guys learned something that you could take away to start changing not only your mindset, but changing your finances, allowing your finances to begin to work for you. And let's begin to build not only transferable wealth or transformative wealth, as my sister so greatly stated, but also generational wealth. So remember to like, share, tell another sister, and see you on the next episode.